Gender at Work has spent the last 3 days with its para partners. 11 of the 14 were able to join us here. It has been our first in-person convening since the para program started, which was in 2021. So it's been an incredible journey these past 3 days where we have learned about each other and created connections and community. We've all learned about what each partner is doing and tried to go into further depth to see where we go from here for the last half of the para program. After these 2.5 days, we're all leaving with a greater sense of community, of team, of the important work that's left to be done, but the important work that we can collectively do to have the kind of impact we are seeking, which is to further women's power over bodily autonomy, voice, and economic resources.
2 days, it was a strategic thinking meeting between Gender at Work and our new partner, powerful partner, LBQ partner, and our old partners. We were here to think about what we should do in the next 2 years, how to enhance our relationship, how to work together, because we are in very different countries. Some partners are in Tunisia, in Lebanon, in India, some are in Benin and Mozambique. So it's different part of world with the different countries, culture, way of thinking, and way of living, and culture and personalities. It was very rich, very surprising, and very genuine. It was good to see partners gathering together, sharing the same issues where they're working in different countries, saying the same issues, and how they find solution for those issues. That was kind of very interesting to see people having the same issues from Asia, Africa, and find a solution. The solutions are not the same because it depends on the context, but people are trying to do something in their community. It was also beautiful to see how people want to work together and want to change the world, even if it's little, because they are not huge organizations. Some organizations have only 3 years of working and experience, but they are committed to their beneficiary, they are committed to their ideas, they are committed to their work. That is kind of beautiful. Other things was to discover the way Gender at Work do training. It's not the way I used to see. It's more creative, and you use your whole brain. It's more collaborative. You are here to share your idea. You are here to listen. You are here to drill. You are here to play. You are here to consult and to center on yourself, because we're doing Tai Chi in morning. We're doing some exercise like we called yoga. We were sharing everything we could from our organization, from ourselves. And it was also a safe space because people were able to share their difficult journey, their trauma. And it was also a place of joy because people share their dreams and what they want to be in their life, what they want to share. And I think it was very tired, kind of stressed, but beautiful and spreading journey.
So Michal, tell me, what stood out for you over the past 2.5 days in terms of the process and facilitating?
I think the biggest thing that stood out for me is that we entered this process kind of cold. We didn't know much about this Power Up group, the project, the process, anything. And we really had to find our way. And I think I've come out of it very warm. So for me, what's really stood out hugely is that this has given us an opportunity to not only support Gender at Work and its partners in building the foundation for a new way for them to work moving forward, but that it's really challenged us as facilitators to be true to our principles, to really work emergently. Every single day we had a different kind of a challenge. The first day we had a lot of emotional overwhelm and we had to totally redesign the day. The second day we had somebody who became ill with COVID and we had to totally change the whole day. Today we had to bring people in via Zoom and have a hybrid meeting at the last moment. And we had very little time to prepare for all of this. So we've really had to go with the flow, as they say, and adapt. And I think role model a lot of what it means to be the change we want to see. We've really had to draw on our resources, our resilience, our radical love, our own relationship, and the trust of the process, of the people, of each other, of Gender at Work in us. There's been a lot of ingredients, I think, that have really stood out for this meeting. And it feels good, actually, to have come through it, feeling like we managed our best with some degree of grace, perhaps. How about you? What do you think, what's been a real takeaway for you in terms of the substantive content and depth of relational connection that's grown here today in this last few days?
Well, it's been incredibly insightful to see what happens when a group of people come together who have a similar intention, similar outlook, similar ideals and goals for the world that they want to create and the world of work that they are engaged in. It's been amazing to see what happens when women from all over come together thinking about what it will take for us to maximize our collective and individual impact as a learning community towards the goals that we are looking forward to creating. And that's been incredible. There have been deep moments of sharing at times when there might not have been that, because this was the first time that many of these women met in person. And the deep sharing was also indicative of the deep care that many of these women have about the work that they're trying to do. Many of them showed their hearts in what they shared. Even though it was a heavy day, most of the days for many of the people, the content of what they shared was very rich, and it stimulated a lot of conversation. And it's been incredibly meaningful for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So there have been a lot of connections that have been made. Mm-hmm. And I think people also valued the fact that we were in person. Online spaces have the capacity for generating meaningful conversation, but it's when we are in each other's presence that we can really connect with one another, with our hearts, with our energies, and that's been incredibly powerful. We've also left the space with very concrete and clear ideas of what we're wanting to do in terms of telling stories, in terms of representing voices, in terms of communicating, and also in terms of thinking about how do we collectively advocate globally. And that's been very powerful. So I think that many women have left the space changed in some way, and with a renewed commitment to the work of Power Up and beyond. And that's been very powerful for me.
I agree. And one thing that really strikes me is that this project is called Power Up, and quite a number of people said they're leaving feeling empowered. And I think this redefinition of what power means and of how really connecting your whole being, integrating head and heart, is so necessary to the kind of power we're talking about. And I feel like people are walking out of here knowing what that feels like in a very embodied way.
Absolutely. So, and the words love, radical love, and care is something that I think will carry me through, and I think everybody that has been part of this process, and committing to seeing how we can infuse that in the work that we do, because as feminists, that's what we do. We want to challenge these patriarchal boundaries that separate our heart from our mind, from our being, and from our doing.
And from our bodies.
From our bodies. So thank you so much, Michal. It's been a wonderful experience facilitating with you, being able to learn, being able to grow, and holding space for others to do the same.
Likewise. Thank you. We make a great team.